Would I could only master one skill, this is the one I'd choose. Most people spend years trying to fix their discipline, or motivation, or consistency. They try new routines, new systems, new habits. Sometimes it works for a while, then it falls apart again. Not because they're lazy, but because they're fixing the results, not the cause. And the strange part is, most people don't even realize what the real cause is. I've noticed this pattern again and again. In students who study hard but still feel stuck. In people who try to build habits but can't stay consistent. And honestly, I noticed it in myself first. No matter how much effort I put in, things kept breaking down at the same point. In this video, I'm not going to give you more discipline rules. I want to show you the one thing that usually breaks before discipline even gets a chance. The one skill that quietly decides whether effort turns into progress or keeps looping in the same place. If you build this skill first, everything people usually struggle with, discipline, habits, consistency, starts working in your favor. Once you see it, you'll understand why working on this first makes everything else easier. To understand why, we need to look at what actually breaks first. So, what actually breaks before discipline ever gets a chance? It's not effort. It's not motivation. It's not consistency. It's the moment before all of that, when your mind hasn't decided what you're really trying to do yet. Most people don't fail because they refuse to act. They fail because action starts when things are still unclear. The goal feels right, but the next step isn't defined. The intention is strong, but the direction is fuzzy. And when clarity is missing, discipline has nothing solid to hold on to. This might sound abstract, but you've seen this happen in very ordinary moments. You can see this happen in very simple moments. Imagine sitting down to study. You tell yourself, I'll study properly today. The intention is there. But when you open the book, your mind pauses. Where do I start? Which topic matters more? How long am I doing this? Nothing is clearly decided. So you read a little, then switch topics. Maybe check your phone. After some time, you feel tired, not because studying was hard, but because your mind never had a clear direction. And later, it feels like I lacked discipline today. But discipline wasn't the issue. The issue started before discipline was even needed. And once you notice this pattern, it becomes hard to unsee, because it has a name. That missing step actually has a name. It's called articulation, but not in the way most people think about it. In simple terms, articulation is the ability to take what's in your head and express it clearly, in a way that makes sense to you and to others. It's the bridge between thinking something and being able to say it clearly and logically. When that bridge is strong, your thoughts feel ordered. When it's weak, ideas stay messy, decisions feel heavy, and action becomes confusing. And when articulation is missing, everything that comes after it, discipline, systems, consistency, starts to struggle. And this is where articulation starts to matter more than it seems. What makes articulation easy to miss is that it doesn't announce itself. It doesn't feel like a special skill. It just quietly shows up in everyday moments. When you try to explain something and lose your point halfway through. When you know what you mean but can't quite say it. When the words come out but the meaning doesn't land. That's articulation breaking down. And when articulation is strong, the difference is immediate. Your thoughts stop colliding. Sentences come out cleaner. You don't search for words as much. You choose them. Speaking feels lighter. Writing feels more direct. And for the first time, you understand what you think while you're expressing it, not after. And this is where articulation quietly stops being just about words. Once you understand articulation, you start seeing its effects everywhere. Clarity. When articulation is weak, thoughts stay half-formed. You feel busy in your head, but unsure about what matters most. When articulation is strong, you can say, "This is the real problem," and clarity appears, not magically, but logically. Discipline. This is why discipline feels different for some people. When your thinking is clear, discipline isn't forced. The next step is already decided. You're not pushing yourself, you're following a plan your mind already understands. Action and progress. When intentions stay vague, action breaks down. I'll study later. I'll be more consistent. These sound good, but they don't guide action. Articulation turns intentions into instructions. And over time, this is what separates effort from results. Without articulation, effort leaks everywhere. With it, effort compounds. This is why articulation isn't one skill among many. It's the skill that decides whether everything else works. Now, this is the part most people worry about. Articulation is not something you're born with. It's not talent, it's not personality, and it's definitely not some people have it, some people don't. Most people struggle with articulation for a very simple reason. They were never taught how to handle their thoughts before they came out. That's why this feels hard, and that's also why it can be improved. And the way it improves is much simpler than most people expect. So, how do you actually build articulation? Not by sounding smarter, not by forcing confidence. Articulation improves when you change how you handle thoughts before they come out. I'll share a few simple habits. You don't need all of them. Even practicing 2 or 3 consistently is enough to strengthen your articulation. Habit 1. Finish the thought. Before speaking or acting, ask, "What am I really trying to say?" Force it into one clear sentence. One sentence gives your mind a shape to work with. Habit 2. Separate mixed thoughts. When ideas feel heavy, list them. One idea per line. Clarity comes from separation. Habit 3. Name the real problem. "This is hard" is vague. "The problem is I don't know where to start" is actionable. Naming reduces mental noise. Habit 4. Turn intentions into instructions. "I'll study later" is vague. "After dinner, I'll revise 1 chapter" is clear. Clear instructions are easier to follow. Habit 5. Explain ideas out loud. Explain ideas to yourself. Struggle isn't failure, it's feedback. What comes out shows what's unfinished inside. Once you build articulation, everything you already know starts working for you. Confusion isn't a flaw, it's a signal. And that's why if I could only master one skill, this would be the one.